Hey everybody, welcome to my first Let's Play series closing thoughts or review video. I've finished other games like Wizardry, but for various reasons I haven't done a similar wrap-up installment. I will be doing another one of these soon here though for Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13, so keep an eye out for that. If you watch this series, it should be pretty obvious to you that I really enjoyed playing Brutal Doom. I laughed a lot during these recordings, much like I did when I played the original versions of Doom 1 and Doom 2. These games have always incorporated a very dry and at the same time absurdist sense of humor, and that legacy has been continued with Brutal Doom, thankfully. I suppose if you're going to go about the business of piling up a bunch of mangled demon corpses, you're gonna need a good laugh every now and then to give your mind a break from the non-stop simulated violence. And Doom developers apparently have understood this pretty well. The indie devs for Brutal Doom did a great job with the additions and the embellishments and challenging experienced players. The gore, the guns, and the sheer deluge of demons, well, I liked it all. The new ridiculous demon death throws and the things they do while infighting were pretty hilarious as well. I honestly can't recall if any of those things were in the original Doom 2 or not, but I think I would have remembered them if they were. I'm pretty sure they were fitting and entertaining Brutal Doom extras. I don't think they were things I missed or forgot about in the original versions. As for the new weapons choices, I really enjoyed the flamethrowers you could pick up from dead mancubi. There's probably not much in video gaming quite as satisfying as watching imps and worms and other demons running around engulfed in flames until they're charred to a crisp. Now, playing Doom for me is a bit like riding a bike. I might screw up every now and then and crash, but I'll never totally lose the knack for it, because I've done it so much. So I decided to play the Overkill WAD on Hurt Me Plenty difficulty in order to feel completely overwhelmed by the demon onslaught, and I wasn't disappointed. I've heard other Let's Players say that if you die more than 10 times playing a game that you should probably consider cashing it in, but no. That does not apply when it comes to Brutal Doom. They obviously haven't tried to play this game on Overkill and high difficulty settings. You'll be lucky if you don't die 10 times clearing just one room of one map. And that's the whole point, really. To purposely put yourself out of your comfort zone with a familiar game. With a game that you think you know everything about. You want to be forced to try different things, and I mean forced. My tendency with Doom is to creep and crawl and find corners to peek around and snipe and pick off demons one at a time. But you simply can't do that in most situations in this game with the settings I chose. I got out of my gaming element pretty quick and ended up running and gunning and frenetically switching weapons and reloading constantly and dying quite often and so on and so forth. And there's a distinct difference between the challenges that Brutal Doom poses and those of the original id versions. Now, there were, of course, times in this series when I was hurting for health and ammo and desperately running around and looking for some of it. But nothing like in the old school Doom games. That's what I remember most about playing them decades ago. You always seemed at a loss for health and ammo and in constant search mode for them. Brutal Doom really isn't like that, at least not to the same degree. You can be all charged up, armor, health, and ammo-wise, turn one corner a little too quickly and aggressively, and be dead in seconds. Full stats are nice, but they are no guarantee you're making it down a hallway, let alone to the exit for the next map. In fact, most of the time I found myself trying to avoid all the goodies scattered around the map to conserve them for when I truly needed them later on. And as a veteran Doom player, I really appreciated that change of pace, let's call it. Of course, old habits die hard, so I still resorted to my antiquated tactics whenever I thought I could get away with them. Most of the time I paid for it, though, which again added to the overall enjoyment and challenge. I really appreciated the upgrade of the gameplay that Brutal Doom developers added here. I really only have one true criticism, and that's that the music for Brutal Doom was either meh or kind of irritating, if I'm being honest. I switched to the old Doom 2 soundtrack, I think in like the 7th episode, and then I tried going back to the Brutal Doom score, and then I just kind of stuck with the old soundtrack a couple episodes later. Now, it's tough to beat the cheesy catchiness and classic electronica sound of the original score, so I sort of understand why they fell short here. Still, maybe it's something they could work on or consider working on in the future. I don't know if they're going to revisit this project. They pretty much nailed it other than the music, so probably not, but it's a suggestion. It does appear like the project has been upgraded since I started playing it though, so who knows, maybe the music's already been updated, and maybe I should think about doing a new series. And there's always Project Brutality, which I think adds some more things to Brutal Doom than what I was playing with. So it's just something to keep in mind. Who knows, maybe there'll be another series not too far in the future. Anyway, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because I don't suppose there's much reason to carry on too long in what is essentially a review of an upgraded classic many gamers know all too well. Needless to say, I give it an enthusiastic thumbs up. If you like the original Doom games from id, well, what exactly are you waiting for? All the links to the free versions of Brutal Doom are down below in the description box. And if you do happen to record and upload your own series, come back here and leave me a link in the comments section of this video so I can check it out. Especially if you crank things up a notch and give Overkill a try and set the difficulty settings up pretty high. I want to see how somebody else fares with this game. As a general channel note, if you haven't noticed, I've started a couple new retro gaming series, Vampire the Masquerade Redemption and Baldur's Gate. They are both classics in their own right, not unlike Doom 2. And so far, I'm really getting into them, so be sure to check them out. Also, I'm still playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and it's still knocking my socks off with how damn good it is. And speaking of CD Projekt Red, like pretty much every gamer under the sun, I plan to record a Cyberpunk 2077 series, which will require that I upgrade my gaming rig, something I plan to do in the coming months here. The continued release date delays for the game are giving me more time to pick and choose hardware, so that's kind of nice, but I guess I gotta pull the trigger at some point and stop hemming and hawing. Also, I may have a short surprise Let's Play series coming out soon, depending upon if my skills at playing this incredibly challenging classic improve or not. In other words, if I finally figure out how to beat it and it stops kicking my arse left, right, and center. It is not the type of game I would normally play or be interested in, but I wanted to expand my retro horizons, so to speak, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Could prove interesting. Alright everyone, as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next upload.